This is an American Standard Freedom 80 comfort hour furnace. These are all made by Trane, so it's very similar to the Trane furnace. This is from 2006, so it's like 13 years old. And we had a basement flood, which actually flooded almost to the roof, 7 feet of water. So everything was submerged in here. And when we tried to start it up, it did start up, but the fan would not, or the blower motor would not turn off, and the air conditioning was running because the air conditioning unit was outside. So this video is a series of steps that I took to change some parts in order to make it work again. Right now it is the gas valve that is failing, and partially because it was submerged in water. Should not start with a gas valve which was submerged in water, and it should be replaced. So if you want to watch the other series, I have some other videos where I show the other parts that I replaced. And it starts with the control board. So I had to replace the control board. You see, I bought a used control board to replace that, and I have mentioned it in the other videos. So here I got the part. So to check for parts, now I found this on eBay, including shipping was $25. This is a used part, but I think if the seller said it's working, and instead of buying a new part, I tried to see if I can make it work on a used part, which is going to be like $25 for me instead of maybe $200 for a new part, which is a good option still if you are doing it. Now, one thing about this is if you want to get a service technician come out, and I did bring them out, and they said the cost of repairing it would not be anywhere beneficial for this age of the machine, because they will put new parts, and each of these parts, for example, the control board itself will probably cost you $300 to $500 plus the labor that they will charge. In my case, the blower motor is still good. I have another video where I showed before I had to replace the blower motor, and I again used a used part in that blower motor that I found on eBay, and that is still working. So for now, I will show the sequence what happens on this part of. I have the thermostat already calling for heat, and if I turn this on, you can see the LED is blinking, which is good. Fast blink is calling for heat. So I have already tested the electrical components, and they are producing enough voltage and power and all those. The inducer motor is on, and you can see the igniter is on as well. So that glow is the igniter glow. The igniter is working fine now, and there was a click but no gas going in, and it will stop the igniter. If the igniter will be there for at most like 10 seconds or so before it turns it off. So the first thing is I'm going to turn this gas valve off. So if it's crossing the line, that means it's off. If you are not familiar with plumbing, I would suggest that you get a plumber to do this, or get an HVAC technician to do it. I have done plumbing myself, and I have just replaced the valve in the other HVAC, so I'm going to try it. The next thing is I'm going to spray. I can see a lot of rust in here. I'm going to spray it with this is the PB Blaster. If you don't know PB Blaster, this is one of the best ones. You can use WD-40, many people, but PB Blaster is the best for rust. And I'm going to douse it with PB Blaster here. So there is a coupling here. This coupling needs to come off, and I'm going to just get the PB Blaster over here so that it and I'm going to use some paper towels to clean it off, take the rust off. Next, I'm going to remove this connector here, electrical connector. This is, so I measured there is voltage going in, so you can measure in the voltage in there, and there was 116 volts, so that's good. I'm just going to place it right away. It's not going to be too much, and then I'm going to leave these bolts on for now because I want to take this one. So this one is going to come out first, and then once this coupling is released, this can move freely. So I will be able to rotate and take this off, and then this assembly should come out. So to remove the coupling, you can see that there is a joint right there, and this one will turn this way. So I have opened it before, so I don't think it will be that difficult to, though I had tightened it back. So you can see that it's moving, and once it opens I will show you. So you will have, so I have to put another wrench to hold this in place so that this doesn't move, and I should be able to turn the other one. So I will put the phone down and show you once I'm able to unscrew the coupling. So here, once you are able to unscrew a little bit, it should come off. Just make sure that the gas valve is off. You don't want to have gas coming out. And so there is still some water coming out. So this has been so you can see that in most cases, in all cases probably they do it this way, is this coupling stays towards the furnace. So always this turn is going to be tightening it, this one will be loosening it. And now from here I'm going to use my two wrenches to unscrew this one. So it's again going to be counterclockwise, and that will take out this section from the gas valve. So I'm going to take this off. So now I have screwed a little bit on this one, so this is now moving. What I want to do is I want to take the gas valve and the assembly, including the gas line that goes to the burners. The burners are right there. And for this I'm going to use a 5x16 socket I have, and these bolts will come off. So there are two over here and two over there, and that should help me release this thing. One thing I want to tell you is note how the gas valve is situated, so that when you put it back you can tighten to the same level or same thread that gets to it. You can also mark it, but usually when you thread it back it will get tight, and then you will have maybe a quarter rotation or a half rotation left, and you can orient it so that it is situated this way. Otherwise the door wouldn't close. So if these valves can go upside down as well, but I would recommend keeping the same way as it was originally installed on this machine. So I'm going to take these bolts off now and remove the assembly. So now I have got this dislodged or out of the frame here. So I'm going to take this apart, and it is going to give me a little more freedom to unscrew it from here, and then I can take this section out. So here the assembly is out with the gas line and the gas valve. So one thing I would recommend is use a soft pad, like I have a pad here, so that it doesn't damage. Well, you probably don't care about the old one, but at least the new one, when you put it back, use a padding so that it doesn't damage some of the plastic parts that are there. So now I'm going to use some force to unscrew this. Now one thing is, you will see that this will, I have to rotate the valve counterclockwise, so this way, so that it unscrews it. And it might be better to just push on this one and hold this one and push on that one, and that should unscrew it. So once you are able to unscrew a little bit, the rest should come off. So here what I did was I put my wrench on this end, and then I was able to put pressure onto, you can see that I'm not going to damage the gas line itself or to the burners, but if you put pressure, if you lodge it and then put pressure, this will turn and come off. So I have the valve off, and you can see it's pretty bad in there. There's dirty water in there, and you can see dirty water now. If you can hear there's water dripping out also. So never try to use a waterlogged gas valve, it will be a danger. So now I'm going to take the new one, and I'm going to put it this way, but before that I'm going to clean this up. So if I probably will clean it up a little bit. You can see there is a lot of rust. I should have changed this pipe as well, but I will clean this up, and I also have cleaned it up before this one. You can take the burners off and make sure the holes are correct or clean. And I have used a little bit of like a pin so that it can just make sure it's not rusted in there. This one has 5 burners, and I'm going to clean it up and put it back on, and then tighten it. So what I did was I sprayed some PB Blaster in there, and I just let it go in there, soak a little bit. It still looks quite dirty, but it did get some of the rust out from the inside. So I might do another round of it and just get it out. And also I did it with this pipe. So here you can see it. It's not that as bad as the other one, but I'm going to do another round of dousing with PB Blaster. The only thing is, when I turn it on and if it goes in, it will smell like PB Blaster, but that's okay. So before I put it on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these burners. I already removed a few of them. I've cleaned this before, but I'm going to clean another one another time, and they were very dirty with the dirty water in there. So once the burners are removed, before I put this on, I want to at least get the threads going on this side. So make sure that the thread on this one is not cross-threaded. So I start without any tool with my hand and make sure that the thread is correctly positioned, because you don't want this to be badly aligned and gas will leak. So make sure that, and I've already tightened this part and made sure that this is the last turn, and I have positioned it so that it goes with the plastic and the controls on the top. So I did tighten the thread, at least by hand, so it went in fine. It's not properly done. I mean, it's not tightened with my wrench yet. So this time I'm going to put this back on and tighten the screws. So this will position it correctly. And before you add this coupling here, you need to position this first so that it sits properly, then the burners will be not misaligned. So here I connected the gas line back, and tightened it. Make sure all of them are tightened, and you should use soap water and spray it on to see if there is any gas bubbles. Since I have the burners out, I'm going to look inside the burners a little bit. It doesn't look too bad. It's not, pretty sure there is rust in there probably somewhere because of the water, but at least I can't see the burners look to be, or the chamber looks to be fine. So I'm going to put the burners back on and put the burner assembly in there. So I will tighten those. So I put the burner enclosure back, or the holder in the back. There are two bolts right there. There is one bolt right there and one bolt goes right there. Just make sure that you don't touch the igniter in the back. It's very sensitive to any like oil from your hands, and it will reduce the lifespan. I already changed the igniter, so it's a new igniter there. I'm going to give it a try and see if it starts up. So here goes the switch, and already it is set to for heat, and the inducer motor is on, and the igniter is glowing. I will turn the so it did fire up. Let me turn the flash off, and here you can see the flame. It looks like the inducer motor is pulling the air so that the flame is going all the way in. If there was any problem or blockage in the heat exchanger, the flames will be coming outside, and it should have stopped with the rollout switch. So that looks good. If you like the video, and if it helps you in troubleshooting your furnace, and if it's helpful for me to make these videos, you should subscribe to my channel. That gives me points on YouTube to keep doing these videos, and I hope you will be able to fix your furnace like I did. And now you can hear the blower motor come on. So that does fix my furnace, which was underwater, and it cost me approximately $100 in parts, though I have used parts. And watch my other videos, which I provide more information on the other troubleshooting the other parts, especially the igniter and the circuit board. So I had to change the igniter as well as the circuit board to get this fixed, other than the gas valve.